What's going on, Wolves and Warriors? My name's Jay Stewart, and this is the Better Body Academy podcast, the #1 show for those looking to permanently overhaul their mind and body without dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. We banish the fitness industry BS and replace it with science-backed strategies proven through countless client transformations. In the Better Body Academy, we help busy men and women around the world get unstuck and back into momentum so they start feeling strong and sexy again. Our mission is to transform 1 million lives, and you, my friend, could be next. And on that note, let's get straight into today's show. So, guys, welcome to another week inside the Better Body Academy. Guys, what I wanted to talk about today, as the title suggests, is why feelings can stop you from being successful. Okay, now this is something that we are discussing currently in our mastermind or our advanced program. It's the idea that we need to pay a little bit less attention to our feelings, not becoming so attached to our emotions. Now, this is probably a polarizing topic for a lot of women. Even when I discussed this with Claudia, it was a challenge to kind of work through. And I think we got to the point where we agreed upon this, but, everyone kind of goes with the idea that, women are more emotional, men are more kind of logical or rational. And whether that's true or not, I don't really care. But the point of this episode is to say that this might kind of upset a couple of people. And the idea is not to intentionally do that, but to try to bring some reasoning to the idea that feelings aren't always the best thing to pay attention to. Okay? So let's start with having a bit of a chat about failure. All right? So when you think about the last time you tried to change anything previously, what was it that got in the way? Maybe you started a new relationship or a new career or a new business, or even in the early days of your physical transformation. What was it that caused you to fall off the wagon? Have a think about that. Like, stop now, guys, and have a think about that. My belief is that it was probably, one of the girls is saying myself, my belief is that it was probably our emotional reaction to whatever is happening to us at the time, right? So maybe in a relationship or a past relationship, you got too emotionally attached too quickly. And then once the kind of honeymoon period had passed, then you realized, oh man, this is hard work. And you weren't ready for the challenge. So the emotional element of it took hold. Or maybe in your transformation, what about this? You were flying at the start. And then you got emotionally attached because the first 5 kilograms come off and you were feeling amazing. You were like, wow, this is so easy. This transformation is going to be simple. And then one day in maybe week 3 or week 4 or week 5 of your transformation, you got on the scales and you didn't lose any weight. And you thought to yourself, well, I'm a failure because I didn't get the result. And what did you do as a result of that? You stopped doing the things that work because of what the scale says. In other words, we got so emotionally involved in what was happening to us that we took our focus on what we needed to actually do. Started maybe skipping gym sessions or eating garbage again and eventually gave up. One of the girls is saying, this is where I'm at right now. This is what transformation actually is. It's being able to slowly overcome these emotions. So I want to introduce you to an idea called the law of polarity. I love this law so much. It is the theory that everything in the universe has an opposite, okay, that is inseparable. I'll give you some examples. Every emotion, love and hate, happy and sad, win and loss, attraction, disconnection, failure and success. Everything has two sides, and something that brings us happiness one day brings us sadness the next day or hour. If you get so attached to either one of these poles, such that when the other one comes up, you fall off the wagon, you will never be successful. In this transformation program, I think we've worked with now over 500 men and women. And so, guys, think about this being in my position. I have seen patterns occurring. If you look at enough of a sample size, you see patterns occurring. I can tell you straight away, the men and women that get emotionally attached to the ups and the downs. 1 week, they're top of the world because they just lost 3 kilograms. And the next week, they're bottom out because they didn't lose anything. They are the ones that struggle. And the reason is because they're caught in outcome. They're caught in results. Life is happening to them as opposed to worrying about focusing on the actions that you're taking. And if as a result of the negative results that happen to you, which are just part of the actual process, if as a result of this, you fall off, this is what we call a lack of emotional intelligence. It's when a failure transforms into you becoming a failure. In other words, the action of failing transforms into an identity of I am a failure. In a simple form, guys, shit is gonna happen. It's always gonna happen because you're a human. But how do you react to it? And here's the thing. Emotions are powerful, powerful things. They drive a lot of the things we do, right? What motivates us to stay in relationships that are bad for us? Well, the emotion of fear. It's better the devil we know. What drives us to spend money on credit when we can't afford it? The emotion of ego and pride and keeping up with the Joneses. What drives us to act out? The emotion of anger or jealousy. We're so driven by emotion, and when we are driven by emotion, typically what happens is we make really, really dumb decisions, including in our physical transformation. Most of us have become too attached to how we feel. And this is particularly hard to stomach for a woman who is quite often told, you should pay attention to your feelings. You should almost worship your feelings. Well, that sounds good, but most often what feels good and what is good is not aligned. I'm going to say that again. Most often what feels good and what is good is not aligned. For example, let's say you have a weight loss goal, right? What feels good might actually be smashing takeaway. What is good is cooking at home. But if you do what feels good all of the time, Em's predicted it, fuck your feelings. If you do what feels good all of the time, you'll be taken further away from your goals. Let's say you're trying to save up to buy your own home, right? What feels good is spending all the money on everything else except saving. What is good is savings. But if we pay attention to what feels good as opposed to what is good, we're taken further away from our goals. And in the converse is true as well. If we avoid what feels bad, well, guess what? Getting up to the gym at 5 a.m. because it's the only time you can possibly do it, that feels horrible. We'd rather sleep in. But what is good is getting up regardless. Because if you constantly avoid what feels bad, it's usually because that thing is the thing that you need to do. Or tracking your nutrition. Who here loves tracking the nutrition? Oh, I love tracking nutrition so much. No, it doesn't. It feels bad. We'd rather not do it. But tracking your nutrition is good. It's the thing that is good, and it's going to make the difference in your weight loss results. So if you constantly avoid what feels bad, you're going to avoid what is actually good and what's going to take you closer to your goals. What the conclusion here, guys, is that you need to start paying less attention to how you feel and more attention to what is beneficial. This is why motivation is garbage. I'm always talking about the idea that you should pay less attention to how motivated you are and instead try to focus your discipline on the thing that needs doing. People that are looking for motivation are looking for a feeling. People that work by discipline, regardless of how they feel, do what is right for them to take them closer to their goals. So if I want you to be successful, what I would want you to do is buy into this mantra that you hear there in the comments of fuck your feelings. Living according to feelings alone has these problems. Feelings are so self-absorbed. Feelings are all about you. And the second part of it is feelings are temporary. We can feel really, really good one moment and then 30 minutes later feel the complete opposite. So if we treat these feelings as if they're facts, guess what? You're going to be derailed because you're going to feel a different way in 30 minutes time or 3 hours time or 3 days time when these feelings subside. Every time you hear the word feeling, what I want you to think is that this is a temporary emotion. It will pass. But what's actually good for me right now? What's the best decision that's going to take me closer to my goals? If you only ever act when something feels good, well, physical transformation is going to be really, really difficult because a lot of it doesn't feel good. This is the reason why most people don't get the body that they want, because they're not willing to pay the dues. They're not willing to do the things that are uncomfortable. You'll really start to win when you don't feel like it, but you do it anyway. As an example, right here, guys, it is 3 minutes past 11 p.m. I don't feel like doing this live, but I know that it's good to do this live. So I do it. And if you repeatedly do this, getting up for hard things requires a sense of like activation, energy, and discipline. And guess what? The more you do it, the more you prove yourself the person that is capable of doing what is hard, doing what is right to take you closer to your goals. And this is what builds self-confidence. Mix commented, said, do what you hate doing, but do it like you love it. This is how you build confidence. So I want the theme for this week to be, I don't feel like it, but I'll do it anyway. Adopt this mindset and you will win. And guys, you can't just change in a second. Like, this takes practice. But the more that you hear this message around fuck your feelings, pay less attention to your emotions, don't get emotionally involved in the downside, these are all kind of different ways to look at the same concept. If you can put a step forward, put another step forward, put another step forward, you are walking kind of like a warrior in the face of the flames. If you can do that, you're doing things that the vast majority of the population cannot do. And when you do this repeatedly, you get to a point where all of a sudden, the universe starts to reward you. And abundance starts to come to you. Because you are literally doing things that the vast majority of the population are not willing to do. So it pays you back in a currency of abundance. So guys, I want you to take this message into this week. I hope this has been kind of a strong punchline around feelings. We need to pay less attention to these goddamn emotions, particularly women, because we get overrun by these things. And I do understand that we're kind of cultured into this idea that feelings are everything and you should only act if something feels good. The truth of it is very little is going to feel good. what's going to feel good is sleeping in. But success doesn't wait for you to wake up and have a beautiful, 8-9 hours sleep and do things when just you're ready. You've got to grind anyway. So guys, hope this message hits you hard this morning. Good luck for the week, and we will chat soon. Wolves and Warriors, thank you so much for tuning in. If this podcast is hitting the mark for you and giving you the confidence to start your own personal journey, I want you to hit me up on Facebook or head over to my Instagram at jstewart_BetterBodyAcademy and DM me with the words Better Body Academy. I want to give you the tools to permanently overhaul your mind and body without dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. Our mission is to achieve 1 million lives transformed, and you, my friend, could be next. So hit me up on Facebook or head over to my Instagram at jstewart_BetterBodyAcademy and DM me with the words Better Body Academy, and we can have a chat about whether we can help you with your transformation goals.